All right, so let's have a look on today's topic. Today, we are going to look into the ocean policy, all right, the importance of ocean policy, and then we are going to look into Malaysian aspect in accepting UNCLOS 1982, all right? Okay, those are the three aspects that we are going to look at. Alhamdulillah, I have the document sent to you earlier. So let's share. The first one is to look into this ocean policy. All right. Okay, I can see. All right. Okay. Right. This PowerPoint is only to highlight the importance of ocean policy. In the beginning, what is ocean governance, right? That is the first part that we want to know, is that there are several oceans in the world, but when it comes to governance of the ocean, all right, there are no actual one single body, all right? Okay, so United Nations are trying to establish ocean governance, all right, by putting a standard to all of the ocean in the world, right? Still, the matter on ocean governance, ocean policy is actually a state subject, right? Okay, United Nations can only sanction can only make suggestion how to have a clear, all right, healthy ocean. The word is funny. The word is really healthy ocean. All right, because there are several concepts in the law of the sea, all right, from the ancient time that develops into the modern time, accepted again when we have United Nations, that the principle of common heritage of mankind concept. It's either it is a doctrine, it is a concept, or it is a principles, right? By that standard, common heritage of mankind standard concept or principles, common heritage of mankind. That is the standard that all ocean, either the ocean is part of a state or an ocean is left open, that there are no states around, all right? Far away, we can find coastal state, but in the middle, all right, who will administer the governance of the ocean? Therefore, that is our objective tonight. Okay, let me just repeat. When it comes to ocean governance, there are no one single body. All right, if the ocean is actually near to a state or a coastal state, then that ocean governance is part of the state, right? Other than that, the ocean is left to have a freedom of, number one, common heritage of mankind. Number two, freedom of navigation. All right, that is principle that applies to the high sea. The other one principle that applies to the part of the ocean that near a states. Right. Having said that, let's look into what is available in history, right? That we have adopted the teaching or the law from history, that we have engulfed the same, adopted it, and then making it part of today law of the sea. What are they? Let's look into this slide. You'll see, all right, the first one, just to tell you the rationale of having ocean governance or for a state, it is called ocean policy, right? We are not going to look into Malaysia now. We're going to look at Malaysian position when it comes to national ocean policy at the end, all right? Okay, so this is what we mean. Okay, let me just have show you male liberum. That's the cover page. We've seen this one before. You have seen it before. That is male liberum. All right, the concept, all the teaching in the male liberum by Hugo Grotius. Right. Right, sorry, it's not Hugo Grotius. What's his name? Suddenly, you know, sometimes it can happen to me. All right, when it comes to male liberum, okay, all the concept is applied and adopted in the male liberum, all right? That is one concept that we have to read right, and understood. And today, ocean or the sea is the one that brings problem to almost 199 states in the world. All right, that's mere liberum. You have to adopt and see how the ocean is being administered. That's the old word. The modern word is how the ocean is being governed. All right, when it comes to the state, how the policy governs the sea. All right, second one, sekejap. I just want to show it to you. That is mechanism. Mechanism from John Sheldon. All right. Before that, me liberum. All right, from the Netherlands jurist. Okay, right. Other than that, there is this book. Okay, again about admiralty. It is also about, remember, freedom of navigation. So the rules of admiralty, right domino of the sea. Okay, that is sea law, that is the Oleron, that is also the basic of admiralty that governs the rule on high sea. All right, okay, so those are the books that bring in or develop the first rationale of having a governance to the sea. All right, okay. Now, any questions? Did I start too fast? Or do you have any questions to ask with regards to ocean governance, right? So all these ancient write-up or in the Article 38 Clause 1 ICJ, these are highly, all right, teaching of a highly publicist, highly recommended publicist. They have published their book, the principles are accepted in a lot of courts, so they become one reference materials source of international law. All right, that's the basic. Okay, we have understood certain basic from the ancient. Today we are looking into what we are going to do with having a new convention called UNCLOS 1982 with the governance, with the aspect of governance. Right. I put a full stop here for a minute. Any questions, dear? Do you have any questions? Did I jump too quickly on the ocean law? I've been waiting since 6:30.
Prof. Azlan here.
Yeah, Azlan. Yeah, go on.
Just a question for my general knowledge one.
Yeah, please. Yeah, go
on. My understanding is that there are certain codes or I don't know, codes or custom or conventions that ships have to use in the sense where if they see a distressed ship, they have like a sort of obligation to go and rescue the ship. And if they rescue the ship, if I understand correctly, they also have rights for salvage of the ship or something like that. So for all that, is there like a, I don't know, codified law, or is it like one law adopted by many countries, or how does it work, Prof?
Okay, right. On that note, that is called rules of navigation. Yeah. All right. At sea, people are moving. They are navigating. The terminology in admiralty is called flying the sea, flying the ocean, the sea, the water. PLY. All right. Okay, bukan FLY. They not fly, but they fly. All right. Okay, that's number one. The one that you heard is very true. In the beginning, it was only a good practice code, CODE, that is sort of like an understanding between one ship to another. And that understanding is found in the book of the Oleron, all right? The one that I showed you just now, okay? All right, the cover that says Rule of Oleron, that is actually the basic of navigation for admiralty law. All right, so tapi because the ocean have a lot of sort of like custom code practice, good practice. Over one corner they have a good practice, over another one corner they have a good practice, but only some country have all this good practice put in a book. So for the rules of Oleron in Europe and UK, they booked it. They put it in the book. They call it Rules of Oleron. Right. When John Sheldon come into the picture, he perfected it a little bit. All right. Okay. Remember the same John Sheldon that wrote the book for mechanism. all right, okay, in the history. So he perfected it. He calls it the domino of the sea. One sector to another sector. He put it in such a way. Still, it is all about navigation, right? In this book, all right, in the book, let me just show you. That is the ride of domino of the sea. That is the Oleron. Okay, these two books talks about what you were questioning just now, rules on navigation. In the beginning, it was just a code, a practice. When it put in the book, all right, now it becomes a rule, a law. Okay, that is very true. That law, you can have it detailed today in the clause on the part of navigation. They have one chapter, navigation of foreign sea in a state legal regime. We are going to look into that too. All right. Okay. In the law of the sea, we have the rules of navigation, but from the aspect of the state, right? In Admiralty, we have the rules of navigation from the aspect of collision, arrest, and navigation too. All right. Okay. That one. But now the other one is this: when you navigate, because they have come to an understanding, right? Okay, how the law, how the rules of the road is. The word is the same. Even at sea, it is called the rules of the road, right? When a car, you call a car left side, right side. When it comes to the ship, you call it starboard, all right? And the other side. Okay, so you see, on the road, you have a traffic light. At sea, you have lights colored. In the front color is different, the middle color is different, the back color is different. We will see that in more detail if you come into the class of Admiralty. All right. Okay. So when a ship is passing through, kita panggil apa? Crossing and take over of each other. Those were also rules that have already been set. That's the thing. All right. At sea, the governance of the sea does not come from the states when it comes to the high sea. The governance of the sea, which is very rare, the ship will go and collide each other. All right, because everyone have already understood this rule of navigation. All right, so if collision happen, stranding of a ship, grounding of a ship, all right, act of God, all right, happening, right? Okay, the ship will then flash out for call of help, SOS, we call it in everyday, right? Once they flash out call for help, all right, the rule is that the nearest and the first ship that saw that signal for help must take action. All right, okay, that's you are correct too. All right, you must take action. It's not that taking action that you would zoom going to where the ship is in distress. No, you take action sometimes because you saw it first. You are going to send navigation, information, communication to other. All right, you must say you have seen it, and then you must say that you have passed and tell the rest to see it. All right, you don't have to go on your own. That's what the requirement is. Okay, now the next one is, remember the case of Titanic, right? The case of Titanic, very famous Titanic sinking. Titanic have already shoot for the SOS in the sky. There was one big ship that saw it, so that ship has already passed information for a smaller ship. Why? Because a big ship to move will take time, right? So faster is a smaller ship to go and save them. So when the ship coming over to save them, all right, okay, the bigger ship that can see a lot clearer, maybe the radar can tell at that particular time, keep on flashing that they need more help to come, but all that take about a range of time, not immediate. That's the worst at sea. Okay, so that is rule of navigation as well. Now the ship in distress, that comes to your second part. The ship that is in distress, that ship could be aground, could be stranded, could be sinking, all right? Okay, could be aground. Right, now the next one is the ship that extend help definitely, right, can take action as salvo. All right, can save the ship. Either shaved it, plucked it out from the sediment, or save some of the people. Whatever they do, they must qualify 3 tests to become a salvo. All right, okay, that one you don't learn in law of the sea. That one you learn in the class called Admiralty, salvage rule. All right, but there is no salvage if there is no distressed ship. There is sometimes distressed ship because of navigation, because of collision, because of act of God, or accident happen at sea. Alright, okay, boleh? Jadi bila kapal tu the first one that comes, right? Although it comes and helped you voluntarily, because in ancient time there is this reward given, so reward can be given. Usually reward is given. Either it is given that you by the insurance company in the modern time, or it is given by the owner of the ship, or is given by the ship operators, the charter party themselves. All right, that is the situation, but that is not law of the sea. But law of the sea tells you about how to navigate in an area where it comes close to the state's water or state's sea. Okay, right. So that much for that. Jadi from the point of your questions, the one thing that we learn in connection of today governance is this, right? Okay, states can still make law, right? But most of the law at sea when it comes to the ocean, all right, ocean is the one that is free, ocean that is the one that is bigger, all right, when it comes to the ocean, you can have only a common understanding, right? The actual practice, right, there is no control, right? United Nations have a lot of convention with regards to the practice at sea, right, to govern the same standard. But unless you are in the party to that convention, then you can have this the standard that the convention demands. Otherwise, all right, it's still a freedom of navigation in the open sea. Right. Okay. Boleh, Azlan? Right. Does that answer your questions? All right. Okay. So if you are interested like that, nanti you can, kalau you boleh lah, buatlah Admiralty. Yeah, it's more of Admiralty. Salvage ada kat situ, towage, collision, arrest, court, judication. Right, it's an interesting subject. Only that it's a totally private subject by itself. All right. Okay, that much said. Right. Now coming back into this ocean. Right. Okay, when we have UNCLOS. Today, I just want to introduce to you UNCLOS and all the benefit, but behind that, there is this concept of law of accepting. Right? Okay. I sent you sometimes too much of the too many of the PowerPoint for you to read, so that when I catch up with you in class, I have already combined them. So I'm not good at clicking a PowerPoint. So just listen to me. Perhaps you can understand what the whole picture of governance, ocean governance is all about. Right? That was just now was just the beginning. All right. Jadi, okay, the second part is this, a state. When a state have already, okay, well, most states have sea. So when states have sea, they always wanted to have a policy at sea, right? States like England, they have a serious policy at sea. They have a serious governance law, governing law at sea. They have mare liberum. Netherlands have mare liberum. England have mare calusum, something like that. But a country like Malaysia, all right, okay, we do have in the ancient time Malacca Code of Malacca Maritime Code. In Melayu kita panggil apa? Kanun Laut Melaka. All right, okay, Malacca Maritime Code, Kanun Laut Melaka. All right. Now, when we have that in the ancient time, but we did not accept it, all right, as in part of our practice when we become merdeka and we become a federation. Right? Okay, we have already adopted the English version of Admiralty or Law of the Sea. So therefore, if we can say that it is only in history it is happening, but we don't abstract it into the modern time. So therefore, we follow the English, all right, law of the sea when we govern the sea today. All right. Okay, when we say we have that in the practice, we also adopted, all right, Merchant Shipping Ordinance 1952. It is an ordinance. So the parents come from the English, all right, Merchant Shipping Act 1896. All right. Okay, that is the position in Malaysia. All right. Okay, the next one is this. When Malaysia signed UNCLOS 1982. All right. Okay. UNCLOS 1982. Malaysia then, all right, adopted all the concept in the UNCLOS 1982 into the Malaysian legal system. Right. Okay. Previously, there is 1958 UNCLOS, right? Previously, there is earlier UNCLOS 1958, right? When Malaysia signed to become, to accept 1958 UNCLOS, right? The 1958 UNCLOS is not mandatory to accept all of the conditions, right? So we accepted only few. Okay, we accepted only on the measurement of baseline, territorial sea, all right, contiguous zone, conservation of fish, and high sea. That's all. All right, about very few, about 9 section, which is not really important to look into. All right, okay, but we know that Malaysia signed at that particular time, 1952, allows a country to sign the treaty and adopt only the section that the states like or prefer. So we adopted that much section, only section with regards to the basic of baseline, the basic of territorial sea, the basic of contiguous zone, the basic of conservation of fisheries, the basic of federal, the basic of high sea, right? Okay, continental shelf was not there in 1958, right? Okay,